All right, today we're jumping into a really interesting financial article that's making a pretty bold claim. It says it's found the next big AI stock for anyone who feels like they missed the boat on the first big wave. So let's break down their argument. So, have you ever looked at a stock like Nvidia, watched it just skyrocket, and kicked yourself for not getting in sooner? Yeah, that feeling of FOMO is real. And it's exactly what this article is tapping into. It's basically saying, hey, the AI story is far from over. Okay, so the article kicks things off by talking about something we can all probably relate to, this NVIDIA FOMO effect. It's acknowledging that the first, most obvious phase of the AI gold rush has already happened. It's created these massive winners, and now a lot of people are left wondering, what's next? And here's where it gets interesting. The article's whole point is that everyone's eyes are glued to the usual suspects. The companies making the chips and running the giant cloud data centers. The author's take is that any big gains there are already common knowledge, and more importantly, they're already baked into the stock prices. So, okay, if the big, obvious plays are already done, where do you look next? Well, that's exactly where the article pivots. It goes from outlining the problem to proposing a solution, what it calls an under-the-radar contender. And boom, here's the big reveal. The article points to one specific company, Digital Brands Group, ticker DBGI. The author is essentially framing this as one of the most overlooked AI plays out there, a potential hidden gem that the big players supposedly haven't found yet. But what is this company really? Well, according to this article, you've got to look under the hood. It argues this isn't just another clothing brand. No, it's actually a tech company, a data and demand intelligence platform that just happens to use fashion labels to gather all its information. That's a totally different way to think about a retail business, right? All right, this is where we get to the heart of the argument. The article claims this isn't just a hunch. It's based on three very specific, tangible advantages that the company gets by building AI right into its core business. So let's get into those three advantages. Number one, it claims AI lets them find customers with surgical precision, which absolutely slashes their advertising costs. Number two, it helps them predict what's going to be a hit, so they don't get stuck with a warehouse full of unsold clothes or run out of their best sellers. And third, it's all about personalizing the shopping experience to keep customers coming back. And what's the big payoff from all this? Well, the article argues it completely changes how they do business. Instead of a model based on guesswork, trying to predict next season's trends, they're using a predictive model. They're supposedly using AI to read the data and make smart, profitable decisions almost in real time. Now, after digging into this one company, the article pulls back to show us the bigger picture. It frames this company not just as a one-off, but as a prime example of what it calls the second wave of AI investing. And this chart really breaks it down nicely. You see, the first wave on the left, that was all about building the infrastructure, the NVIDIAs, the cloud companies. But the second wave, according to the article, is all about using that infrastructure. It's about these vertical specialists who take that powerful AI and use it to dominate one specific industry, like fashion. And this right here, this is maybe the most important takeaway from the whole article. The argument is that the real long-term winners won't be the ones just selling products. The real prize goes to the companies who figure out how to take all the data they're collecting and turn it into a valuable, monetizable asset. So how do you turn that data into an actual asset? Well, the article paints this pretty wild picture of the future. It suggests DBGI could actually sell its AI platform as a service to other brands. I mean, can you imagine huge companies like Nike or Adidas paying to use DBGI's intelligence to run their own operations? That's the really big, ambitious vision the article is selling. All right, so we've got the theory, we've got the potential business model, but the article doesn't just leave it at that. It gets very specific and puts some hard numbers on the table with a big price target. First, it sets the scene. When this piece was written, it points out that the stock was trading at around $8, so that's our baseline. And then, here's the headline number. The article highlights an analyst price target of $30 a share. You do the math? That's a huge potential jump from where it was, and it's definitely designed to grab your attention. And of course, to wrap it all up, the article really amps up the urgency. The message is clear. This is a small window of opportunity. It's for the savvy investors to get in early, before, as they put it, Wall Street fully wakes up and the price shoots up. So where does that leave us? The article lays out a really compelling story, right? An overlooked company, a big theory about the second wave of AI, and a dramatic price target.
Now, of course, we're just breaking down one writer's argument here. This isn't any kind of financial advice. It really all boils down to one big question. Is this a true hidden gem, or is it just a very well-packaged, high-risk bet? The article made its case, and now you get to decide how much of it you buy into.